My name is Ariel. I am a teacher. I love to read. I love how words come together to tell a story. I love that a simple sentence can change my view of the world. Every time I open a book, I step into a new journey. Reading is a magic key. It opens many doors in life. It builds your mind, your heart, and your dreams. I used to think that talking and listening were enough. I thought movies and songs would teach me all I needed. But then I discovered reading. When I read, I meet new words. I see how they work in a sentence. I learn how ideas come together. Each page shows me how language is built. I learn grammar by simply reading. I learn new phrases without even studying hard. Every word I see becomes part of my mind. Reading makes me stronger in the language. When you read, you have control. You set the pace. If a sentence is hard, you can slow down. You can read it again and again. You can even say it out loud. This helps you hear each word and feel its rhythm. In a normal talk, you cannot always ask someone to slow down, but a book lets you pause as long as you want. That power is one of the best gifts of reading. At first, reading in a new language was hard for me. I did not know many words. I had to stop and check each word in a dictionary. It felt like a big mountain. But slowly, I learned a secret. You do not need to know every word. When you see a word you do not know, you can use the other words around it to guess its meaning. It is like being a detective. With each clue, your brain learns and stores the new word. Soon the mountain becomes a path that you can walk with ease. Every time I read a simple story, I feel the joy of learning. I see clear, short sentences that are easy to follow. I learn how a story starts, grows, and ends. I see that even the simplest sentence has power. I remember my teacher saying, "Each word is a brick. Together, they build your language house." I began to see that every time I read, I add a brick to my own house of knowledge. My house becomes stronger and more beautiful with each page. Reading is not only for learning a language. It is a doorway to new worlds. When you read a book, you travel without moving. You can visit faraway lands, meet brave heroes, and solve great mysteries. One moment, you can be in a castle with knights and dragons. The next, you can be in a busy city with tall buildings. Books let you see things you may never see in real life. They let you live many lives in one. This is why reading is so much fun. Many great experiments show how reading helps us. In one experiment, students were given fun books. They did not have boring textbooks. They read stories that made them smile. Over time, those students became better at reading and writing. They learned new words naturally. In another study, students who read for just 10 minutes every day improved a lot more than those who did not. The more you see words in real sentences, the better you remember them. That is why reading makes a big difference, even if it is just a little each day. Some people worry that reading is too slow. They think it takes too long to finish a page. I understand that feeling. When I was new to reading, every page felt heavy. But I soon learned that even a few pages are important. Every page is a small step. Every step builds your strength. Over time, those pages add up to many books. They build your language skills, brick by brick. The more you read, the more confident you become. Reading gives you a quiet time in a busy world. When you open a book, you have a moment just for you. No one interrupts. You can think about every word. You can let your mind wander. You can imagine the scenes and feel the emotions of the story. This quiet time makes your heart calm. It makes you feel safe and free. In a world full of noise, a book is like a soft song that soothes you. I remember the first time I read a comic book in English. The words were short and the pictures helped me understand. I laughed at the funny parts and got excited by the adventures. That day, I learned that reading can be light and fun. It is not always a heavy task. There are many kinds of books. Some are full of adventure. Some are full of mystery. Some are simple and playful. The key is to find one that you enjoy. When you choose a book that speaks to you, every word becomes a friend. Reading is like a long walk in a beautiful garden. Every new word is a bright flower. Some words are small and delicate. Others are bold and strong. Together, they make your vocabulary bloom. You learn that there are many ways to say the same thing. Instead of just saying big, you might learn to say huge or enormous. Instead of saying happy, you might learn to say joyful or cheerful. This garden of words makes your language colorful. With every flower you pick, you can paint your own story. Reading also makes you a better writer. When you read, you see how a good writer puts words together. You see how sentences start and end. You learn how to use punctuation to make your meaning clear. Over time, you begin to write your own sentences that sound natural and clear. Your ideas flow better on paper. Your thoughts become easier to share with others. That is why many teachers say that reading is the best way to learn how to write well. I want to share a story about a student I once met. He was very quiet in class. He did not like to speak up. He felt shy. I told him to read a simple book. At first, he struggled. He had to look up many words, but he did not give up. Each day, he read a little more. Slowly, his reading improved. One day, he finished his book. He smiled and told me he was proud. That small step made him a better speaker. It made him feel strong and confident. That is the magic of reading. It turns small steps into great leaps. Reading gives you the chance to learn about the world. Books tell stories about people, places, and ideas. They teach you about different cultures and histories. They show you that people from faraway lands have dreams just like you. When you read a story about another country, you see its customs and ways of life. You learn that even though we speak different words, our feelings are the same. This understanding makes you kinder and more open to others. Sometimes I feel that reading is the bridge between the past and the future. Many stories were written long ago. When you read them, you hear the voices of those who lived before you. You learn about their struggles and their hopes. Their words travel through time and reach your heart. They teach you lessons that are still true today. In that way, reading connects you to the wisdom of many generations. It tells you that while times may change, the power of a good story never fades. There is also a great freedom in reading. You can read anywhere, in the morning, on the bus, or late at night. A book is always there for you. You do not need a special place to read. All you need is a quiet moment and a book in your hand. This freedom means that even on a busy day, you can find time for learning. Even if you have only a few minutes, those minutes are precious. They build a habit that grows with you. Every day, a few pages make you better. Many experts say that reading for pleasure is the best way to learn a language. They say, read only things that are fun and easy to understand. It is not a race. It is a gentle walk. If you choose a book that is too hard or too boring, you will feel lost. But if you pick something that makes you smile, the words come easily. You begin to understand without even trying hard. That is why I always tell my students, choose a book that you like. Let it be your friend. Let it take you on adventures. And if you do not like one, put it down and try another. There is no shame in finding what works for you. I have read many stories that taught me different things. I have read tales of magic that made me dream. I have read true stories that showed me how people overcome hard times. I have read funny stories that made me laugh until I cried. Every book has a lesson. Every story has a meaning. Some lessons are about love. Some are about loss. Some are about courage. But all of them add a brick to your life. They help you build a strong foundation. They give you the tools to face your own challenges, and they remind you that every struggle can be overcome with time and care. I remember a time when I was very young. I had very few things to do. I read the encyclopedia. I read every book I could get my hands on. I read stories about faraway lands and brave explorers. I read about great kings and wise queens. Those books filled my mind with wonder. They taught me that the world is vast and full of secrets. Even if the TV was on, I chose the quiet world of books. That habit stayed with me. It taught me to look for knowledge in every corner. It taught me that reading is not just for school. It is for life. Reading has many benefits that go beyond language. It makes you think. It makes you ask questions. When you read, you learn to wonder, why is that so? And how can I understand this better? These questions lead you to discover new ideas. They make your mind active and curious. With every book, you learn to think for yourself. You learn to look at problems from different angles. This way of thinking is useful in every part of life. It helps you solve puzzles, make decisions, and even predict what might happen next. Reading is like a gym for your brain. Every page you read makes you stronger. I also learned that reading can be a way to share feelings. When you read a touching story, you feel the emotions of the characters. You laugh with them, cry with them, and sometimes even feel anger or joy, as if you were part of the tale. This connection is very special. It teaches you empathy. It shows you that people all over the world feel the same things. When you understand others' feelings, you become a kinder person. You learn to see the world with a warm heart. That is why reading is not just about words, it is about feelings and life. Some days, I read out loud to myself. I sit in a quiet room and let the words come out of my mouth. I listen to my own voice and feel the rhythm of the sentences. This helps me learn the sounds of the language. It teaches me the proper way to say each word. At first, I was shy. I did not want to hear myself. But with time, I grew more confident. I learned that speaking the words helps me remember them better. It makes the language real. My voice joins the words on the page, and together they create a song of learning and joy. Reading is also a bridge to the future. In our modern world, many jobs need strong reading and writing skills. People who can understand a book well can work better in any field. Whether you are an office worker, a mechanic, or a scientist, the ability to read well is a powerful tool. It helps you learn new things every day. It makes you better at your job and at communicating with others. The more you read, the more you know. And the more you know, the better you can shape your future. I have seen many studies about reading. One study showed that students who read fun books improved their writing much faster than those who did not. Another study showed that students who read in silence did better in grammar tests. In these studies, the key was simple. When you read, you learn naturally. You absorb grammar, vocabulary, and style without forced memorization. You see how words fit together. You learn how to speak like a native. That is why reading is so effective. It teaches you by example. You do not need to study endless rules when the right rules are right there in the text. Let me tell you about a time when reading changed my own life. I once set a goal to read 1,000,000 words in a new language. I started with very easy books. I read stories that were simple and fun. I read translations of books I already knew. Slowly, I moved on to more challenging stories. With each word, I felt my level rise. I began to think directly in the new language. I no longer had to pause and translate in my head. My thoughts came quickly, like a smooth stream. By the end of my goal, I could have simple conversations. I could understand clear speech and even write my own stories. That journey showed me the true power of reading. It is a secret that helps you learn much faster than you think. I know that some people say reading is old-fashioned. They think that in our digital world, books are no longer needed. But I disagree. Reading is a timeless habit. Even in the age of smartphones and the internet, a good book can take you away from the noise. It gives you a moment of peace. It lets you focus on one thought at a time. You are not distracted by endless notifications. Instead, you are immersed in a story. You are free to explore your mind and let your ideas grow. The beauty of reading is that it can be done anywhere. Whether you are in a park, on a train, or sitting at home, a book is always waiting for you. In our busy lives, it is easy to forget the joy of reading. We rush from one task to another. We often do not give ourselves time to slow down. But even a few minutes of reading can change your day. It can calm your mind and fill you with new ideas. When you read, you take a break from the hectic pace of life. You allow yourself to dream and to wonder. those few pages can become a treasure trove of inspiration. Over time, these moments add up to a rich habit of learning, and this habit grows into a part of who you are. I have met many people who credit their success to reading. They say that the best ideas, the most creative solutions, and the strongest skills came from the hours they spent with a book. They share stories of how reading helped them overcome challenges at work and in life. One friend of mine, who was once very shy, began reading stories every day. He found that his vocabulary grew, and soon he was able to speak with confidence. He joined clubs and made many new friends. Another colleague told me that reading helped her see the world in new ways. It taught her empathy and made her a better listener. These stories remind me that reading is not just an academic exercise. It is a way of life. There is also a deep connection between reading and creativity. When you read, you open your mind to many ideas. You see how different authors use words to create images and feelings. You learn that there are many ways to tell a story. This inspires you to create your own stories. You start to see that language is a tool for art. Every word is like a note in a song. Together, they create a melody that is unique to you. Your imagination grows as you see new ideas on the page. You learn to think outside the box and to find beauty in unexpected places. Reading, then, is not only about learning rules, it is about learning how to dream. I want you to remember that every book is a step on your journey. Some books are short and easy. Others are long and challenging. Do not be afraid to try different kinds. Sometimes, you may need to reread a book to fully understand it. That is okay. Rereading helps you catch details you missed the first time. It reinforces your learning. With each reading, you notice something new. Your mind becomes more alert, and your memory grows stronger. Over time, even the hardest books become easier. They become a part of you, like old friends who share their secrets with you. Sometimes I sit with a book and simply let my mind wander. I look at the words and imagine the world they create. I think of the characters as real people. I picture their faces, their feelings, and their dreams. In those moments, I feel connected to a larger world. I feel that every word is a bridge between me and another person, another idea, or another time. Reading makes me feel less alone. It shows me that even when I am by myself, I am part of a big story that spans across generations and cultures. I also love to share what I read with others. I join groups and clubs where people talk about books. We discuss the ideas and feelings that the stories bring out. Sometimes, we laugh together. Other times, we feel a little sad. But every discussion makes us understand the story a little better. Sharing our thoughts helps us learn new ways of thinking. It makes the reading experience richer and more meaningful. In these conversations, you learn that there is no one right answer. There are many ways to see a story, and that diversity of thought is one of the great gifts of reading. Every day, I try to set aside time just for reading. Even if it is only for a few minutes, those moments are precious. I turn off my phone and find a quiet corner. I open a book and let the words take me away. It is in these moments that I feel truly alive. I learn, I dream, and I grow. I build my vocabulary without even noticing. I see grammar in action. I hear the music of the language in every sentence. These moments remind me that learning is not a race, but a gentle, joyful journey. I often think about how reading connects the past, present, and future. Many of the books I read were written long ago by people who lived in different times. Their words have survived time and still speak to me today. They tell me about lives that are different from my own. They teach me lessons that are still true now. That connection to history makes me feel rooted. It shows me that while the world changes, the heart of a good story remains the same. The lessons of courage, love, and hope are timeless. They pass from one generation to the next, lighting the way for all who listen. I also see reading as a tool for building a better future. In today's world, many jobs need strong language skills. Whether you work in an office or fix cars in a shop, being able to read well is important. Reading helps you learn how to understand instructions and share ideas. It gives you the power to solve problems and make good choices. Every book is a tool that builds your future. It makes you a better worker, a better friend, and a better person. The habits you build today by reading will help you succeed tomorrow. Let me share another story from my own journey. When I decided to learn a new language, I set a big goal for myself. I promised to read 1,000,000 words. I began with books that were very easy. I read short stories that made me smile. I read translations of books I already knew. Slowly, I moved on to more difficult texts. With each word, my mind grew stronger. I began to think in the new language without having to translate. My thoughts flowed like a clear stream. That challenge was hard, but it showed me that reading is the fastest way to learn. It taught me that every small step adds up to big progress. I learned that if I stayed with it, the language would become mine. Sometimes I see people worry that reading is too hard. They say, "There are too many words I do not know." I understand that fear. But I have a simple message. You do not need to know every word. Experts say that if you understand about 98% of a text, you are good to go. That means it is okay if a few words are new. Use the clues around them. Let your mind fill in the gaps. Over time, those unknown words will become familiar. Do not stop because of a few hard words. They are just small challenges on your long journey. I have also learned that reading can be very low cost. You do not always need to buy expensive books. You can go to a library, you can read e-books on your phone. There are many free stories waiting for you. This means that anyone, no matter where they live, can learn from books. The gift of reading is available to all. It does not matter if you are rich or poor. The treasure of words is there for you if you only choose to open a book. I want you to think of reading as a great adventure. Every book is a new land. Every page is a map. When you read, you are the explorer. You discover secrets hidden in the lines. You meet characters who become your friends. You face challenges and solve puzzles. You learn lessons that help you grow. That adventure never ends. It goes on with every book you read. And as you travel these lands of words, you become braver. You become wiser. You become ready for whatever the future holds. I also want to talk about how reading helps you see things clearly. When you read, you learn to look at the details. You notice how words fit together and how ideas are connected. This attention to detail makes you a better thinker. It helps you solve problems in your own life. You learn to analyze situations and find the best solutions. Reading trains your mind to see patterns. It teaches you to ask the right questions. And when you ask questions, you find answers that can change your life. I sometimes sit and think about the simple beauty of a well-written sentence. I think about how a few short words can capture a feeling or a moment perfectly. I remember reading a line that said, "The sun smiled on the little town." It was so simple and clear. That line made me feel warmth and hope. That is the power of reading. It can make your heart light and your mind open. It gives you moments of clarity that you can carry with you throughout the day. I have seen how reading builds bridges between people. When you share a book with someone, you share a part of yourself. You share your dreams, your ideas, and your feelings. In a book club or a simple conversation about a story, you learn that other people see the world in different ways. They may laugh at the same joke or cry at the same sad moment. This sharing creates bonds. It reminds you that you are not alone, that we all have stories that connect us, and that is why reading is so important. It unites us in our shared humanity. I also find that reading teaches patience. In today's fast world, we want things quickly. But a good book takes time. You must sit with it. You must let the words sink in. This slow pace is good for your mind. It teaches you to be patient and to enjoy the process of learning. You learn that not everything comes in an instant. Some things take time, and that is okay. Patience is a virtue that reading nurtures. It helps you grow stronger and wiser over time. There is a time when I felt that reading was like a mirror. It showed me my own thoughts and feelings. When I read stories about people who struggled and triumphed, I saw parts of myself in them. I learned that my challenges were not unique, that others had felt the same fears and hopes. This reflection gave me courage. It taught me that I too could overcome my obstacles. The mirror of reading reflects the common human experience. It shows us that no matter how different our lives may be, our feelings and dreams are the same. I also want to share how reading helps us learn about science and nature. Many books explain the world in simple words. They show us how plants grow, how stars shine, and how water flows. When you read about science, you see the wonder of nature. You learn that the universe is vast and full of mysteries. These books make you curious about the world around you. They invite you to ask questions and to look for answers. Science and reading go hand in hand. They both spark the flame of curiosity in your heart. I remember reading a book about the planets. The sentences were short, and the ideas were clear. I learned that each planet is different. I learned that the stars are far away, but still shine brightly. That book made me look up at the night sky with wonder. It taught me that there is so much more to the world than what I see every day. That is why reading can change the way you see your own life. It opens your eyes to the endless possibilities that lie beyond the horizon. Another important part of reading is learning about art and history. Many books tell the stories of great painters, musicians, and leaders. They show you how art can capture the beauty of life. They tell you about the struggles and triumphs of people from long ago. When you read these stories, you learn about the past. You learn about the cultures that shaped our world. You learn that art is a way to express feelings that words sometimes cannot. This learning makes you appreciate the richness of human life. It shows you that every person has a unique story worth telling. I have often seen that reading helps build self-confidence. When you finish a book, you feel proud. You feel that you have accomplished something. That feeling of pride is like a small victory. It tells you that you are growing and learning. Every time you complete a story, you build a little bit more confidence in your ability to understand and communicate. Over time, these victories add up. They make you feel that you can face any challenge. They remind you that you are capable of great things. In my journey, I have also found that reading is a way to plan for the future. When you read, you gather ideas. You learn new things that can help you make better choices. A good book can show you a new way to solve a problem or inspire you to try something different. It is like having a mentor who guides you with gentle advice. That mentor is written in the pages of a book, and every time you learn something new, you become a little bit more prepared for tomorrow. I want to tell you that reading is a lifelong friend. It grows with you. When you are young, simple stories make you laugh and dream. When you are older, books give you wisdom and insight. They help you see that life is full of beauty and challenges. They show you that every day is a chance to learn something new. This friendship lasts a lifetime. The books you read as a child stay with you. They shape your thoughts and dreams. And as you grow, you find new books that speak to the person you have become. This lifelong journey is one of the most precious gifts of reading. There is a deep joy in the act of reading. It is a quiet joy that fills your heart. It is the joy of discovery. Each book is a treasure chest full of ideas. Each page is a gift waiting to be unwrapped. When you read, you are not just learning words. You are learning how to live, how to feel, and how to dream. You learn that every idea matters. You learn that every story is a piece of the great puzzle of life. And that, above all, is the beauty of reading. I know that some days you may feel tired. You may feel that reading is too much work. But remember, even on the busiest days, a few pages can make a difference. It is not the length of time, but the quality of your attention that counts. Even a short, peaceful moment with a book can bring clarity to your thoughts. It can lift your spirit and remind you of all the beauty in the world. So even when life feels overwhelming, try to find a moment to read. It is a gift you give yourself. I also want to encourage you to explore different types of books. Do not feel that you must stick to one kind of story. Try a mystery, a fairy tale, a science book, or even a comic. Each genre has its own style, and its own way of teaching you something new. The more you explore, the more you will find what truly captivates you. And when you find that one book that makes you lose track of time, you will know that you have discovered a true friend. That friend will be there for you on both good days and bad days. There is a saying that every book is a new beginning. I believe that with every new story, you start a new chapter in your own life. You begin to see things in a different light. You learn that every ending is just a start for something new. That is why reading is so full of hope. It shows you that the future is bright and full of possibilities. It reminds you that no matter what happens, there is always another story waiting to be told. That hope is something you carry with you every day. I often think about the quiet moments when I am lost in a book. Those moments feel like magic. The outside world fades away. Only the words on the page exist. In that quiet space, you can feel your heart beat in time with the story. You can imagine yourself in faraway lands. You can laugh, cry, and feel deeply with the characters. Those are the moments when you truly connect with life. They remind you that every emotion is worth feeling and every story is worth hearing. As you go forward, remember that reading is a choice. It is a choice to grow, to learn, and to explore. It is a choice that builds your future. Every time you pick up a book, you choose to add a brick to your language house. You choose to light a small fire in your heart that can grow into a bright flame of knowledge. That flame will guide you through dark times and inspire you on bright days. It will remind you that you are capable of understanding the world in all its wonder. I want to thank you for listening to my words today. I hope that you feel inspired to pick up a book and begin your own journey. I hope that you see the magic in every word and the promise in every sentence. Remember, reading is not just about language. It is about life, about dreams, and about the endless possibilities that lie ahead. Every page you turn is a step toward a better, brighter future. Now close your eyes for a moment and imagine a world built from words. Imagine a world where every book is a door to new adventures. See yourself walking along a path of printed pages, each one leading to a new discovery. Feel the excitement of learning something new with every sentence. That is the world of reading. A world that is waiting for you to explore it, one page at a time. Let your journey begin with small steps. Read a little each day. Allow the words to fill your mind and lift your spirit. Over time, you will see that your language grows richer and your thoughts become clearer. You will find that the simple act of reading can transform your life. It will give you the tools to understand, to create, and to connect with others. It will help you build a future that is as bright as the stories you read. Before we end this lesson, I want you to remember one more thing. Reading is a lifelong companion. It is always there, waiting for you in your favorite chair, on your phone, or in the quiet corner of a library. It will be with you through every stage of life. It will help you learn, grow, and dream. And no matter where you go or what you do, The words you read will always be a part of you. Thank you for joining me on this journey today. I hope you feel the power of reading deep in your heart. I hope you understand that every word is a step toward a better tomorrow. Open a book, dive into a story, and let the adventure begin. May every page you turn bring you closer to the person you want to be. Keep reading, keep dreaming, and always believe in the magic of words.